Paddy Pimblett, of course. It's completely stole the show, not only with his performance, but his post-fight interview, the way he's conducted himself and the way he's worded things and the things he's mentioned, the things he's spoken out about. Just overall, very, very impressed with him. Just like Molly McCann, they have stepped up their level of professionalism. I'm very impressed with them. I mean, of course, he gained a bunch of weight and has made a bunch of jokes about it. But you have to also remember the discipline that it takes to get that weight off at the speed that he did and to come in that kind of condition. It's a credit to him and a credit to his nutritionist, Paul Reed. I would like him to stay closer to the weight and work on his S&C, because the higher up in this division he gets, the more brutal these lightweights get. That's the one thing you have to bear in mind about this division is it is an absolute shark tank. Everyone in the top 15 is a real handful. Most of them can wrestle, and if they can't wrestle, then they can stop you wrestling them. I would like to see him, gradually progress, but you've got to think, he's 22 fights into his pro record now. The UFC might try and push him, accelerate him a little bit quickly. I hope they don't, because I think they could build him into something. And of course, he speaks very well. But his skills also speak for themselves. Levitt had level changed and he was in on this single leg. And you can see Paddy, he brings his right arm to his bicep and he sets up it's like a reverse anaconda position. It's a nice little control position. You can see as he brings his arm up to the arm of Levitt, he kind of locks it in with his chin as well, like he does with his rear naked choke. There you go. He locks his chin over. Now, this is not a finishing position. It's potentially uncomfortable, but it's not gonna get a submission from Jordan Levitt. He might have had a better chance if he'd have not had the arm in. But I got the impression that this was something that Paddy had drilled and he knows, and this is a sequence that he's familiar with. He knows that he can control people in this position. And the knee that he landed was for me the beginning of the end. It was the start of the tumbling of Jordan Levitt. And what's really nice is he switches his feet, so he pulls his power leg back so he can drive it straight into the side of the head. And of course, you've got to bear in mind, he's holding Levitt in this position as well. So he's taking the full force of that knee. And then, he's dazed. Paddy's on top of him. And then Paddy's going to chase around to his back once they land. And as he chases around to his back, he collects this arm. You can see Paddy's got a lock over that. And he's also got the body triangle on, which makes it even more difficult for Levitt to move. It's difficult enough to get your hand out of this position if you've got no gloves on. But with a glove, that is getting stuck on the back of the leg of Paddy, and he has got a tight lock on that because he's got a body triangle. Would have been more difficult to control that arm if he just had regular hooks, but the body triangle coupled with the glove, it was going to be incredibly difficult for Levitt to get out of this position. And then you've got Paddy with two arms attacking one arm of Levitt. Now, one of the reasons why Levitt felt he was safe in this position is because he kept his shoulders as square to the mats as he could. You can see that he's quite a lot lower than Paddy. There's Paddy's line of his shoulders and there's Levitt's line of his shoulders. It makes it difficult for Paddy, who really wants Levitt here. He wants him to be almost side by side head-wise, so he can get a good deep bite on that rear naked choke. So Levitt kind of felt like he was a bit safe here, and the way that Paddy pulls this back is really nice. So there's a bit of hand fighting going on the left side. Both of them are kind of hand fighting left hand. Meanwhile, Paddy's right arm is around the arm of Levitt, but it's not deep enough under his chin for Paddy to start thinking about this attack. Now you can see him push the left hand down of Levitt, kind of pushing down with both hands. Now Levitt again is feeling very safe in this position. Arms still caught, but he feels like he can keep his chin buried just enough and keep his shoulder tucked in just enough to be able to stay out of this rear naked choke. As Paddy gets this lock in though, he starts to twist his body, so he's now pulling Jordan Levitt onto his side. And this is one of the reasons why, as Jordan Levitt's being twisted, his chin comes up, because it's a natural movement. If you start to twist the body up, it's very difficult to draw your chin into your shoulder. It's much easier to bring your head up. And as soon as Paddy gets a bite on this chin, you can see Levitt's got his chin tucked. He feels comfortable that he's going to be safe here. Paddy frees his other arm and then goes for the figure four. But then watch how he makes this adjustment with his shoulders. Watch how he pulls him around. That twist that's the point when Jordan Levitt's chin just pops forward and Paddy's arm goes underneath his neck. You can see how much tighter that is now. And the other thing you've got to bear in mind is that because he's got this body triangle on here, Paddy's also twisting away the opposite way with the body triangle. He's squeezing this and he's twisting the opposite way with the body triangle as he's twisting with the upper body. So he's got that kind of, it's like a wringing out motion, like a wet hand towel. You're twisting, he's twisting away with the body. Eddie Bravo always used to call it the Dan 7, but that was a palm to palm. But the key in that was the body triangle and the twisting motion. And it's a real kind of, it's a brutal, I mean, it's a very uncomfortable position. There's a lot of pressure on his ribs. Of course, his arms caught as well, which makes the body triangle even tighter. And then Paddy's whole body is clamped onto this. And here you can see again, if I just remove that arrow, you can see how he's got his chin locked onto the back of his hand. So the one arm of Levitt that's free, that's trying to reach for that hand to pull it down to alleviate the pressure, is now fighting against Paddy's chin being locked into that glove as well. Really, really nice finish. Really nice. And what a squeeze. Little adjustment. And another twist. A little kick of the legs, and there's the tap. Very nice. Very nice. Great performance by Paddy. Really excited to see, where he goes next and, and what they do with him.